You know, when people come in, it's a self-guided tour. They come in and then they can roam freely, you know, up around, look at the museum inside. It's about a 100-acre complex outside with the different animals up into the museum buildings. And then we have different things going on throughout the day. Baby animal feeding, snake lectures, you know, a little bit of different stuff to keep the people educated and entertained. Yeah, this house here, this was my grandmother and grandfather's house. That's where it all started with my dad and Aunt Loretta and Aunt Edna back in 1927. This big eagle here, that was, when I was a kid, I remember playing on it. My grandfather got it from a junkyard up in Newburgh, New York. He knew it was unique, but he didn't know the history behind it. And to find out, when Grand Central Terminal 1880 to 1910, there was 13 of those cast iron eagles on the corners and throughout the top of the building, and there was 12 of them that were known of. And to find out that was the 13th eagle that sat up top there in New York City. Watch out, they don't attack you coming out here. Their claws are incredible, so you definitely, they're small, but they're powerful. Here. So.
Got the bottle, you got one bottle coming?
Do you eat a lot, like what, like 4 or 5 times a day? Maybe?
Yeah, 5 times a day, about a bottle and a half each.
Yeah.
And look at those fat tummies, I work hard.
These buildings, this was owned by Rutgers Experimental Center for Dairy Research, but then my grandfather did a land deal with the state to be able to obtain these buildings. And we have ringtail lemurs, servals, obviously a herd of buffalo. Everybody's got to have their own buffalo. They're a herd animal, so you got to be careful if you go in there. They're very protective of each other. We had a baby calf born the other day, and if you went in there and grabbed onto that calf, they would all circle you. And that's one of the reasons they were pretty much eradicated in the West at one point, because they are a herd animal. So if they shot one buffalo, the other buffalo would surround it to protect it, and they would just shoot them all. So unfortunately, that's why they almost came to a demise. These are some bobcats that we have here. We have quite a few bobcats around the area too that are people don't usually see, but they're not uncommon around here anymore. And I think they're taking a big toll also on the turkey population that we have here in the state. There's a hyena here. I got him out of West Virginia. It's a spotted hyena. They have spotted and striped hyenas, but they have one of the 3rd strongest jaw pressures out of any animal in existence. There's some more little bears here. They're a couple years old. They're grizzlies. They got Kodiak in them too. A Kodiak is just a subspecies of the grizzly where they're located on the peninsula in Alaska and Kodiak Island. These guys, through the summertime, you know, eat about 20 pounds a day each, but they're still growing. They're only going on 3 years old. But a bear is one of the few animals that never stops growing. They grow about 90% of their growth in the first 5 years, but they continually grow after that. So in captivity, they're out every day. They're used to being on a feeding schedule, so you can just continuously pour the feed to them in their growing years to achieve the size on them. That male lion, I got him a year ago, April, out of Great Adventure. The one we had was 20 years old, and then we just lost our female last October. She was 20 years old, which is extremely old for a lion. And so right now, I'm working a deal out with Great Adventure to go down and get a female lion, hopefully the 1st of June. Leo!
Come on, boy!
You can just see the power that they have.
Come on.
They're all fed a good, healthy diet. We pick up Roco deer. I have contracts, bidded contracts through municipalities. And if they're fresh, you know, we'll butcher them up and then feed them back out. So you can't get much more of a natural diet than fresh deer for your carnivorous animals. Nobody wants to see a deer hit, but it does make people feel good if they know it's going to a good use. And we have literally people that call, you know, go to work on a route every day and say, hey, there's a deer on 669 in Andover, or there's a, you know, a deer on 653 in Montague. They do the little deer report for us, and we go out and pick them up. The small cats, like a bobcat or a mountain lion can purr, where the big cats, like a tiger, a jaguar, a lion, can roar. So big cats can't purr and the small cats can't roar. So that separates the difference between a big cat and a small cat. And no, there are no wild mountain lions in New Jersey. A lot of these animals that we relate to as a warm climate animal roamed in colder climates, because jaguars, at one point they roamed all the way up through the Rocky Mountains, and it's true with so many different animals like that, that overpopulation, overhunting, and or poaching push them back to be tropical animals. So in your mindset, they're a warm climate, but they acclimate to the seasons and they all do very well. Yeah, a few years back, went down to Turtleback Zoo and traded him a baby buffalo for a white elk, a bull elk. And so he was white and obviously had a pretty good gene pool, because you can see a lot of the elk here are still thrown off from that. And a lot of these too are looking a little bit raggy right now. They're getting rid of their winter coats. So the winter coats are falling off, and then another couple of weeks they'll have a nice sheen of sleek coat on them for their summer coat. So right now they're just shedding out, which is just natural progress for them. And these are black bears over here, and you can actually fit a baby black bear inside a 12-ounce soda can. That's how small they are. And then they'll rapidly start to grow. And these are all fallow deer in here. They're European. They come brown, white, and also spotted. Unlike a white-tailed deer, when they chew on the grass, the white-tail will chew it off from the top, where a fallow deer actually pulls out by the roots. That's why there's never any grass in here. We got a couple of gray wolves in here. Sheep and goats here. You get a lot of the kids up out of the city and whatnot too, and sometimes it is sort of interesting that they're more impressed seeing a chicken or a goat. You know, they may have been to the Bronx Zoo and they've seen a lion and a tiger, but they never actually saw a farm animal. And then some kids, you know, that are up in this area see goats and chickens all the time and don't really care about them. They want to see the cool stuff. So we're the longest owned family tourist attraction here in the state of New Jersey, owned by the original family, going on 4th generation with my son, you know, being involved and having this be his dream to carry it on.
Our wild and woolly family includes creatures from all over the world.
We have 500 wild animals, lions, tigers, bears, leopards, jaguars, also a museum with 48 cars, old wagons, sleighs, Indian artifacts, and a working farm. It's not a job, it's a lifestyle that you kind of grow into. It makes you proud, you know, you put a lot of work into it, you know, trying to carry it down to the next generation.